Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser is proud to have sued the Trump administration dozens of times. Tonight, we hear from 3 of the 4 Democratic candidates running for AG on their legal strategy to fend off the feds. The frontrunner, Jena Griswold, declined to answer any questions. Kyle Clark has tonight's next conversation with Boulder District Attorney Michael Doherty, former federal prosecutor Hetal Doshi, and workers' rights attorney David Seligman.
We lose the confidence and trust of the people we serve if we're taking Trump to court just to make a point. It has to be done well, it has to be done right, and it has to be done with the win.
And that's certainly what critics accuse Attorney General Phil Weiser of doing, of just stacking up or joining a bunch of lawsuits to make a political point against Trump. When you look at his 65 or so suits, do you feel like they're well-founded, that Colorado should be in those fights? Do you see missed opportunities?
I don't see missed opportunities. I certainly see Phil Weiser using discretion. The Democratic attorneys general from around the country have brought far more lawsuits than the 65 or so that Phil Weiser and his team have brought. Right now, the attorney general is on the front lines of defending the rule of law. Because quite frankly, from my perspective, Congress is basically dysfunctional, and they're no longer acting as a check on the White House. So it's incumbent upon the rule of law and the Attorney General to stand up and fight for what's right.
I do think that the General Weiser's standard of is the conduct unlawful and does it harm Coloradans is the right test. I would add some meat on the bones of that second part of the test to say the harm to Coloradans can feel like an amorphous concept. And so to me, the harm to Coloradans that really matters in terms of using resources to fight the federal government as opposed to looking inward would be, is the harm to one of our deeply held values or safety? Or number 2, is there a specific economic harm in the form of funding or opportunities like SNAP benefits or NCAR funding come to mind?
Is there any point in which resource management within the office plays a part in which suits to bring or join?
It's top of mind. It's one of the first questions. And this is something that, as someone who has led inside the government, in my last role with the Department of Justice, I led teams of more than 800 lawyers and professional staff. And every day I had to make trade-off decisions. If I'm suing Google, that means there's another case that I might not be able to file. And so I think about this question of taking on Donald Trump precisely through this lens, because I will not have this administration and his cronies make sure that they set an agenda for us. It should be the other way around.
I think we should be very worried about, an attorney general coming in who's taking on these cases to get on, MSNBC or something like that, right? Holding the Trump administration accountable is about protecting the people of Colorado, right? But we've got a lot of tools in the toolbox. And some of them aren't just, again, about standing up to the Trump administration. It's also about standing up to the corruption and corporate abuse that we're seeing right here in Colorado. Look, we live in the second Gilded Age, right? We are seeing concentrations of wealth and power unlike anything we have seen in this country. We just saw a trillionaire created off of, building the AI systems that are spying on us and jacking up our prices and driving down our wages. We don't need to be living this way. And one of the core things we've got to do to take on the forces of corruption and corporate abuse is use the laws on the books to protect people. We got a lot of work to do, and it's active work.
You can see Kyle's full interviews with all 3 on the next YouTube channel. Again, Griswold declined to appear and answer questions.